Coming up on today's Retro Robbins show, we're going to have a look at some new games from 2019 and 2020 and have a little play of them and see which ones I like and which ones I don't like, and you know, which is going to be pretty good stuff, to be fair. Oh, and I've got some new demos, good isn't it? And also we have a new feature on this show, Commodore versus Spectrum. We're going to look at the same game that was made for both consoles and judge which one was the better version. Was it the Commodore? Was it the Spectrum? So join me next. If you love a bit of 8-bit, you're going to love a bit of Retro Robbins on the Retro Robbins show. Titles time. Hello and welcome to the Retro Robbins show with me, Wayne Retro Robbins. So if you love a bit of 8-bit, well then you're going to love a bit of me. What's on today's show? We're going to do one Spectrum versus Commodore. That's where we take two games, the same game for the Spectrum and the same game for the Commodore, and see which version is better. It'll be a one-upmanship, Commodore versus Spectrum. That's later on in the show, but first we'll be having a look at some of the latest games from 2019 and 2020 and re-reviewing them. So let's have a look. And of course my computer of choice, as always, is the Omni 128 and also the Toast Rock. So we're combining computers today just to get the best result. The Omni's providing the sound you can hear in the background, of course, and the Toast Rock's going to do the work today for a change. So let's have a look at some of the latest games of 2019 and 2020. Some of them you may have been seen before, reviewed on other shows, but I thought I'd give them the Retro Robbins treatment and review them for myself. So the first one we're going to have a look at today is called Atomic Cat. And there's the loading screen, of course. I'm just going to zoom the picture in. And as it has a white sound, what we'll do now is just take it down just a little bit. There we go. Just pause that. You can hear the sound in the background. A little bit of the information is on the screen there for you. So let's have a give it a go. And of course you've just basically got to get between, you've got to collect those sort of flashing things there. But when you get into certain areas, that your energy will go down pretty fast, so you have to be pretty quick. And of course if you hit any bad guys you lose more energy quickly. Whoops. Like so, and as you can see I'm going down pretty fast to 40. I'm not going to make it this time round, but we'll give it another go in a minute. 16, 15, and that's what we've got to get to there. Never done it? No, it's that one, isn't it? Oh, just about got to 99 there. And then we'll try and get a bit further. Tough game, it's not very easy. You've only got to jump left, right, and of course some of these characters are quite hard to avoid. It's just a bit of a puzzle game really, but you need a bit of speed. And I'm already down to 19. I don't think I'm going to make another screen, do you? And you can see where I've got to get to for the next one. So what do you think of that game? Atomic Cat, worth a try? That was new, and you can see the game and the code is by. It's all on the screen there. I enjoyed it. I found it quite hard, but it's a good game. It's original. It's worth a try. So we'll move on to another game, and of course we're going to try and get through as many games as we can. This one I kind of like as well, Jungle Queen. Let's get some AY sound on, shall we? Should we have a bit of Evita Saint Monty, eh? The new version. Right, first of all, there's your big notes, lovely colourful logo, isn't it? Beautiful, beautiful colourful logo. This one, you start off, your first section is to swing from rope to rope. And if you're quick, you can time it quite well. And if you miss, that is what happens. So Ah, you're a bit late coming on, aren't you? And if you notice, the rope actually goes in, this was quite cleverly done, goes in the border area, normally where you can't have attributes. Can you see it's just going outside? That's cleverly done, isn't it? Oh, missed again. See if we can get a bit further this time around. You either do it in one go or you don't do it at all. You've got to wait for a little bit of a gap. Oh, nearly made it, nearly made it. Game over, give it one more go, shall we? Just missed it there. It's not easy. Gotcha. See, he's left a bit of graphics in the border area. How on earth have they done that? Clever programming. It's nice and colourful. Because if the ropes are too close together, there's no point trying to jump on them. Oh, I didn't think I was going to make that. No, I didn't make it. One more go. If I can't do it, then I'll just move on. Go away, I want another rope to come. There we go. It just amazes me that that can actually go in the border area. You've got to wait, you've got to be patient and wait till they come a bit closer. And if you press it too early, then you are done for. I think I'm going to do it this time. It's got a good feeling about it this time. Yeah. And that's it. I think now all we got to do is get to the end and we get to swim. Took some doing, but we got there. Just avoid everything. If you notice, you've got to aim at one of them fish. I'm not too sure, but I'll try and avoid the crocodiles and see how far I can go. The idea is to get to the end of every stage, basically. So yeah, very colourful. Don't see any colour crash problems at all. My life. Ah, the last minute I got done. So that's that one. What do you think? Think you'll find it fun? Big sprites, colourful and enjoyable to play. Quite tricky, however, sometimes getting a tricky first level is more challenging. I'm running out of time anyway, so yeah. Right, the first one, Tommy Cat. Couldn't quite master it. I knew what you got to do. I'm going to give that one a 7 out of 10, which is, you know, considering it's a new game, it's a bit harsh, but yeah, it's good to see new software. And of course, if you do get any, don't forget to donate towards the decoders. Some of them do this for free, some of them do it for money, but we don't mind paying for games now, do we? Now we've all got jobs and we're not children, we can afford it. Support your local coder, your programmer, and they'll make more games for us, of course. This one, because of the clever use of the border there with graphics in it, I'm going to give this one I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, worth a try. I'd like to see how far I can get on it, but in the meantime, should we move on to the next game? So, moving on to the next game, it is of course Magicable. And there's your loading screen, and 2020 by I think it's AGD. Straight away, we'll just pause the sound just so you can hear this sound. You get to redefine your keys on this, and as always, with games you redefine, look at this. I like that. Nice little effect. So you gotta, I'm going to use H for hold, as in pause, and Q for quit. So let's have a go at the game. Just listen to the tune a little bit, eh? Give it, you know, people take the time making these music, so might give it a good play. It's okay, it's not bad at all. Right, this one, you can only jump on these like purple squares because you won't be able to jump there, but when you're anywhere close to them you can jump. You just got to, first task is to get to there to open the door. Then it becomes a little bit more trickier. And best to wait for them to go past. It's all about timing, really. Oh. And if you walk off the square, then you leave it too late to jump, you won't be able to jump. Not easy. We should get past this though. No, sometimes if you walk off it, you've had it. Am I down to my last life? It might be. It's tricky as anything, isn't it? I got over that so easily just now. I can't do it. Let's try again. Jumping too soon, aren't I? That's it, got that one. This is the tricky bugger. And I'm over that one, so yep, click that. And now this gets really tricky. I haven't managed to get to there yet. So it's nice, colourful, clever little game. It's all about timing, really. I mean, you've got to sort of... Oh, I meant to... I've got to sort of time to get onto that top ledge to get down. So, yeah, that's a pretty good game, to be fair. I like it. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. One for you to try. We'll move on to the next game. So... well, this is the game. You've probably seen Chris play this and review it, of course. And there's the title. It's got a great tune. In fact, actually, because it's got some good AY tune in it, I'm just going to pause this one. We'll go straight to the game. Nice logo as well. Colourful. Very effective. You hear the football tune in the background there. Perhaps I should have used this on It's a Funny Old Game, that video I made, which was pretty good. So we get to redefine the keys. Alright, enough of that. Let's redefine the keys. Oh, of course, when you redefine the keys, it's slightly different. Everyone that comes up with a new idea about redefine the keys gives you a little arrow. Left, right, down, up, and fire. And we'll start the game. And that's the music in it. Oops. Right, first of all, you've got to collect your ball, which is up in the corner. The game's fairly simple, to be quite honest. It is a puzzle game. Even though it's got a football tune in it, it is a puzzle game. Now the goalkeeper's gone. you get to score your goal. And when you move on to the next screen, he does a wicked little jig. And you have to wait for that jig to end, of course, before you can move on to the next level. I mean, how hard you press. Oh, we started. Right, this one's a little bit more trickier. As soon as you start this one, you need to be moving. There we go. Once you get past that part, it's usually straightforward. This time you have to hit the button. Then you can collect your ball. And then you've got to kick the ball. Just remember, perfect timing is what you need, really. So you've got to kick the ball at the switch. And that gets rid of the goalkeeper. Oh, you won't be able to jump over him. No matter how hard you try, I wouldn't bother. The easiest way I find is to wait till he goes past you, jump on that ADG, and move on to the next level. So yeah, it's a unique little puzzle game. Each level gets slightly harder and harder and harder. I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10, one for you to try. Let's move on to another game. And of course the next game we're going to go for is Pong's Revenge. Oh, sorry, Reverse Pong. Instead of controlling the bats, on this one you control the ball. And the keys are quite simple. And you've got to collect all those little balls there. The first level's quite easy usually. But then it gets a bit harder. It's like a new take on a... Oh, you have to make sure you're in line with the bat, else you'll lose. That was close, wasn't it? No. So you can see the trickiness in that. It's a good little addictive game, I think. What do I give that one? I'll give that a 7 out of 10. It is fairly basic, to be fair, but it's not a bad idea. Clever concept of a game, and yeah, sort of turns Pong on its head. So let's move on to one more. Oh, I know which one we'll go for. Vampire's Revenge. This turns the concept of clever idea of the game. This time you are the vampire and you've basically got to get behind and suck the blood out of them until they're dead on each level before you can exit to the next screen. So yes, we'll give it a go. Nice loading screen, of course. Great colours in that, and brilliantly done. So the keys are QAOP and space. And there's a first victim. This would have been a good Halloween game, wouldn't it? Spooky. The hardest two to get obviously are going to be the ones at the bottom. And then you notice there's a little red door opens at the top. I think it's a coffin that's opening for you. Then you have to proceed to that, which is fairly easy to do. By the way, those spikes will kill you, so you still have to be fairly careful. But we move on to the next level. This gets a little bit trickier. And you can't get them while the shield and sword are facing you. If you do try to do that, you will come unstuck. You basically got to attack them from behind. It's a bit harsh, isn't it? Oh, I got done by the spikes. So, it's addictive. I got done by him this time. That's when you rush. If you rush, you've had it. Avoid the sword swipes. I should go via the top first, but yeah. Apart from the lack of sound, it's a great game. I find it fairly addictive. Graphics and sprites are well done. They do exactly what they need to do. I'm going to give that a 9.5 out of 10. Vampire's Revenge. Give that one a go. Let's move on to another game. So we can get through as many as we possibly can today. And this one, Chris did a review on it, didn't he? And yeah, I like it. It's not a hard game at all. Your keys are OP and space, basically jump. We're going to go for K for keys. And you've got to collect the nuts and avoid them things. Oops. Once you collect enough nuts, you'll move on to the next level. And as you move through the levels, then you get various more obstacles appear. I think a couple more we need there. That's it. First level complete. Whoops. I'll fly for the first two levels, no problem, but when it starts, you'll see what I mean in a minute, when it starts a little bit trickier. Obviously you get more of those spikes appearing. The idea is not to chase every single acorn, because sometimes you're not going to get from one side of the screen to the other trying to chase one acorn. And this is where it becomes difficult, because you've now got an object that you've got to jump over, which is quite doable. But if you take your eye off it, or you jump at the wrong time, then you will bite the dust. Perhaps I should have gone for that, eh? That's that level complete. Spikes as well as a rolling ball. I think it's even harder than this. Oh. Yeah, on further levels you get a Pac-Man that goes across and he eats your acorns for you. So, there's another game for you to try. New out this year, of course, was reviewed by one or two other people, but I thought I'd give it the Retro Robbins review. We're going to go through as many of the games as we can, just bunch them all in one go instead of the odd one or two. Definitely a great game, and that, I've got to give it, apart from the lack of sound, it's just got the basic sound effects really. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. That is a Retro Robbins special. That is fun and addictive to play and worth a go. Shall we move on to one more? Think what to play. Try this one. yeah, this is basic. This was basically like the bomber plane, but turned it the other way around. Instead of being a plane, bombing down buildings so as you can land, you're a submarine trying to break the icicles off the roof. Which is good in a way, because it sort of means you're not theoretically doing something naughty to ruin houses and homes. You're just doing it to survive, which is, you know, not easy. I haven't managed to get all the ice out of the way yet. You could probably eat about the first one or two, but you need to get those dark bits out of the way, really, because you could probably play through a bit of the snow. I'm going to have it then. It's probably as well as I'm going to do on that, I'm afraid, but yeah. I'll give it a rating. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. There's not much to the game. It's not a basic game, and there is a bit of code in it, but yeah, it is what it is. So let's move on to today's feature today, and it's coming up right now. So the first game we're going to compare between the Spectrum version and the Commodore version is, of course, this classic one, as we all know by the sound of the music, what it is: Amarotti. Between this and the AY sound, the SID sound and the AY sound, I don't really consider there is much of a difference, so they're a bit even Stevens. But let's have a look at the actual game itself and see how it compares to the Spectrum one. And what we'll do, this is a new feature in the show, please leave your comments below if there's any particular game you'd like to see me compare the Commodore one, to the Spectrum one. I'm more than happy to do so. And let's give it a go. I think I need to put my joystick in, don't I? That's it. The only difference now, it's not isometric compared to the Commodore one. You've still got the places to village, but it's sort of face down. Okay. And this, it's not the same, is it really? It's a nice little textured background, but it doesn't remind you much of a city at all. In fact, it's a little bit trickier to hit the flies with your bouncing bomb. Because they're sort of off the screen. See if we can find the Queen. And they move very quickly. Now, is it work the same way where you need to get them to follow you? They don't follow you either, do they? Not like on the Spectrum version, where they sort of, if you run into them, they follow you. But I can feel that my damage is going up. Well, is the music as dramatic? There's the Queen, and that is the Queen you've got to destroy. Okay, let's have a look at the Spectrum version. So for that we'll have to swap the consoles. Give me just 2 minutes. So first of all, the first thing that you notice that you get with the Spectrum version that you don't get is a loading screen. And also we'll go for the, oops, wrong tap file. We'll just go straight into the snapshot. The music seems slightly faster, bit more to it, even though they've got the SID chip supposed to be apparently better than the Spectrum. I think the Spectrum sound on this occasion is better. And instantly you can tell the difference. You get to see all 4 legs move, not just 2. So while this runs through a starting sequence that you don't get on the Commodore. Of course this is the 1 to 8K version, but even without this, it's great with an atmosphere of a spooky sound, but the game itself, you get the full game on the Spectrum version without having to load various different levels. And obviously the key to playing this game, I always tell people, is to kill off all the flies first, because while the queen is alive, they will chase you if you run into one. And as you can see, if you don't run quick enough, you get your damage. But now he's following me. And once you position him in the right place, oops, I'm surrounded by flies here. They sort of home in on you. I might have to rescue myself in a minute. Right then. There's one down. And I think they're going to turn off because I'm having to turn off, so I'm going to have to rescue it. So, what do I think? Is it going to be 1-0 to the Commodore or 1-0 to the Spectrum? I'll tell you now. So, it's 1-0 Spectrum. And as always, I hope you enjoyed today's show. We'll do some more Commodore versus Spectrum. Same game, 2 different consoles. Which one wins? I'm going to be completely unbiased and try and keep a neutral opinion of that. And also, if you're a games developer and you see any of my games shown on your show, any future games you'd like me to review and show on your show, I will pay you handsomely for each game that I show on my actual show as a review. So if you want to get in touch with me, please feel free to do so via the various YouTube channel, of course. Send me your links and I'll happily pay you for the game, and I'll also pay you for every time your game is reviewed on my YouTube channel. So in the meantime, for me, Wayne Retro Robbins, thank you for watching. If you do like this video, remember to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. In the meantime, take care. Bye for now.